Hello, and welcome back to a deep episode of the Bruin Buzz. I'm Katelyn, Heyl.
And I'm Dixon. Today, we're talking about the stigma that surrounds mental health-related issues.
This podcast contains mention of suicide and other potentially triggering topics, so please proceed with caution.
I think that schools don't know what's going on in their students' personal lives. They don't know how much stress is being put on them by their parents or sports, or even if everything's going right and you don't know if there's still something wrong with them, like mental health-wise. And that isn't taken into account at all. You're expected to be here unless something physically happens to you.
This is it's kind of related, but a little bit off topic. But you know how last year in health we were supposed to go over, nutrition, sexually transmitted things. And then we were also supposed to talk about mental disorders, and we never did. We just went over things that can hurt you physically, which is I'm not saying it's not important, but it's equally as important as how the mind works and what's going on in people's minds. And it makes me kind of mad that we didn't go over that as much as we went over physical health, because they both matter.
I mean, you can barely turn on the TV anymore without seeing a ad about stop vaping, stop smoking, this is what it's going to do to you. But mental health is something that's not really talked about, because it's kind of frowned upon still, and there's so many stereotypes around it too. There are people who get bullied because they're depressed.
Because you know what? It's because it's turned into a trend, being depressed and stuff, just so people can get attention. Because if you're happy all the time, people tend to not pay as much attention to your personal life. And so in order for people to pay attention to you, people feel I need to be depressed because that's what everyone else is doing. Everyone else is acting depressed and acting like they're going through hard times, and then that'll make more people like me. No, that's not how it works. If you walked into a room and you saw one person smiling and laughing, the other person just sitting by themselves and with their head down, generally you gravitate more toward the happier person because that's who you'd want to be around. So I don't get why it's trendy to be depressed. Being depressed isn't something that should be celebrated or flaunted or anything like that. And I feel that's what it's turned into. And so many people now treat it as a joke, and they're oh, you're not actually depressed, you're just doing it for attention. And there's people out there that are actually severely depressed, and people just don't believe them because it's just turned into a trend, and it's disgusting.
I mean, I can't go a day without hearing someone say, I'm going to kill myself over this. And it's you're going to kill yourself over dropping your pencil on the ground? Nobody takes it seriously because everybody jokes about it.
I will admittedly say that I let the jokes slip sometimes, and I'll be crap, I didn't mean that. But then there's other people who just say it so effortlessly about every little thing.
Yep. I agree with you. I've done it a couple times. I don't know. There are just some cases where it just bothers you, Because people take it so lightheartedly. Yeah, I'm going to go kill myself. No, that's a serious thing. I've known people who've committed suicide who are way younger than we are. And it's so sad. And yet it's treated as a joke.
Okay, big deal. You didn't get an A on the test, you got a B. You're not going to kill yourself over it.
There's another side of the spectrum, which is there are people who joke about stuff like this who are actually serious, but they mask it in a joking way. And I think it's just telling the difference between the two. I don't know, it's not a joking matter. If you personally don't struggle with things like this, then I don't know why you'd want to joke about it, because it's not a thing that's good. We would like to end this podcast by hoping our listeners will keep suicide jokes to a minimum.
Thank you for listening, and we hope your day is buzzing with positivity.